Good morning, students. Our next part of this topic, when any one of the poles inclines the most toward the sun, 23 degrees 30 parallel of that hemisphere, receives perpendicular sunrays. See figure 8.4. The sunrays are perpendicular at the equator on the 22nd March and 23rd September, which are the day of the equinox. After the 22nd March, other parallels between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer, in which northern hemisphere start receiving perpendicular rays sequentially. Only on 21st June, 22nd December, the sunrays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. These two days are called as the solstice day. Then sunrays are never perpendicular on any of the parallels between Tropic of Cancer and North Pole, or between the Tropic of Capricorn and the South Pole of the South Pole. 21st June is the longest day and it's make a shortest night in the northern hemisphere. Similarly, 22nd December mark the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. 22nd December is the shortest day in the northern hemisphere. In the region from Antarctic Circle to the North Pole, the sun remains visible for 24 hours or longer. At the North Pole, the sun is visible in the sky from the 22nd March to 23rd September. For 6 months, similar situation prevails in the region between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the period from the 23rd September to 21st March. Note that on equator, the duration of the day and night is the same throughout the year. That means when any one of the poles inclines the most toward the sun, 23 degrees to 30 minutes parallel of that hemisphere receive perpendicular sunrays. That means at that time the one pole inclines most toward the sun, that means south or north pole, who was the 23 degree to 30 parallel. At that time this hemisphere received the perpendicular sunrays. See figure 8.4. The sunrays are perpendicular at the equator. That means at the sunrays 22nd March and 20 September, which are days of equinox. That means the sunrays are perpendicular at the equator on the 22nd March to 23rd September, which are the day are also known as the equinox. These two days are also known as the equinox. After the 22nd March, other parallels between the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, and in the northern hemisphere. That means the 22nd March, other parallels between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere start receiving perpendicular rays sequentially. That means on the other parallels between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere start receiving perpendicular ray sequentially. Only on 21st June and 22nd December, the sunrays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. That means only 21st June to 22nd December, the sunrays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. That means these 2 days, that means 21st June and 22nd December, at that time the sunrays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. These 2 days called as the solstice day. That means these 2 days the sunrays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Which day? The 21st June and 22nd December. And these 2 days is also known as the solstice day. You understand? Which day are also known as the solstice day? The 21st June and 22nd December. You understand? These 2 days are also known as the solstice day. Sunrays are never perpendicular on any of the parallel between Tropic of Cancer and North Pole, or between the Tropic of Capricorn and South Pole. That means the sunrays never perpendicular on any parallel between the Tropic of Cancer and North Pole between the Tropic of Capricorn and South Pole. 21st June is the longest day. You know the 21st is the longest day and it's makes shortest night in the northern hemisphere. That means in the northern hemisphere 21st June is the longest day and shortest night. But which hemisphere? Northern hemisphere. Similarly 22nd December marks the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. At that time the 22nd December is the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. 22nd December is the shortest day in the northern hemisphere. That means 22nd December is the shortest day and longest night in the northern hemisphere, and 21st June is the longest day and shortest night in the southern hemisphere. In the region from the Antarctic Circle to the North Pole, the sun remains while visible for 24 hours or longer. That means in the region from the Arctic circles to the North Pole, that means the region from the Arctic Circle to North Pole, the sun remains visible for 24 hours or longer. At the North Pole, the sun is visible in the sky from the 22nd March to 23rd September, that is 6 months. Similar situation prevails in the region between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the period of 23rd September to 21st March. Note that on the equator, the duration of the day and night is the same throughout the years. That means in the region from the Arctic Circle to the North Pole, the sun remains visible 24 hours or longer. But at the North Pole, sun visible in the sky from the which day? 22nd March to 23rd September. That is 6 months. That means the period of this 22nd March to 23rd September is 6 months. Similar situation prevails regions between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole. That means here the first is the Arctic Circle to North Pole and the second is the Antarctic Circle to South Pole. The period from 23rd September to 22nd March, that means 6 months. Note that on the equator, the duration of day and night is the same throughout the year. That means on this equator, the duration of daytime and night time is the same throughout the years. Seasons have been decided on the basis of the duration of the sunlight, equinox and the solstice. The equatorial region does not experience any change region, hence the climate in the region does not change at all in the year. That means seasons have decided or based on the duration of sunlight, equinox and solstice. The equatorial region does not experience any change of the region. That means in the equatorial regions does not change in the season, but hence the climate in this region does not change at all in the year. That means which region? The equatorial regions, which is does not experience of change of season, but hence their climate in that region does not change. That means in these places beyond the equatorial region is either hemispheres, summers or winters are the experienced one after the other within the years. The occurrence of the season one after the other is the in a years leads to the cycle of seasons. That means the place behind the equatorial regions, behind means to behind. The place behind the equatorial region in the either hemisphere, summer or winter are the experienced one after the other. That means the season, summer or the winters are experienced one after another within this year, but occurrence of season one after the other in a year leads to cycle of season, and this is also known as the cycle of season. Generally there are two seasons, summer and winter. Generally seasons are divided into two parts or two seasons. That means the summer season or winter season on the earth. However, in some places seasons are taken to be the four in all. That means in the some places the season is divided into four. The change in the atmosphere, vapor in the air, the winds, the precipitation also influenced the season. Continuous occurrence of the rain in the specific period give rise to the additional season besides summer and winter. The change in the atmosphere, vapor in the air, and the winds and precipitation also is influenced the seasons. That means the atmosphere, vapor in the air, that means water vapor, the winds and the precipitation also responsible for the seasons. Continuous occurrence in rain specific period give rise the additional seasons behind summer and winters. Due to the local candidate seasons other than summer and winter are seen to occur in a different part. For example, rains occurs in India in specific period. Therefore we consider the four season. That means the seasons which is dependent on the rain. Here given the one of the example, that means in our India's rain occurs in specific period, and because of this therefore we consider the four seasons. Our India's the first season, that means there are four seasons in also Europe and North America, to summer, autumn, winter and spring. That means this seasons is divided into the summer, autumn, winter and spring. The cycle of season and the living world. In the earth axis we were not tilted, the some climatic condition would have been prevailed throughout the year. The seasons would not have occurred. One and the same type of the climatic condition would have the prevailed on the earth on the different parallels. That means in the earth axis we are not tilted. Tilt means to move. सरकणे म्हणतो की नाही तो. The earth axis were not tilted, that means they do not move. The some climatic condition would have prevailed throughout the years and the seasons would not have occurred, and at that place there where the seasons would not be occurred. One and the same type of climatic condition would have prevailed on the each of the different parallels. That means in the different parallels there where the climatic condition is different. It is the tilt of the axis through leads the occurrence of the seasons. Because of this tilt of the axis, that means moving of the axis which is leads to the occurrence of the season, change and diversity on the earth. That means this tilt of the axis which is the leads occurrence the seasons and also change and the diversity on the earth. The living world on the earth is affected by cycle of season. That means in the living worlds on the earth which is affected by the cycle of season. For example, in the region between the 66 degree 30 minute and 90 degrees in both hemispheres, even the mild sunlight available for the part of years give rise to the certain flora and fauna in the Antarctica region. That means here given the example, that means there were the region between the 66 degrees to 30 degrees and 90 degrees, these two hemisphere, even the mild sunlight available for the part of year, and because of this there were the certain flora and fauna in the Antarctica region. At the southern part of the earth, birds like a penguin, fish like seal and the animals like walrus are the found. That means in the southern part of the earth there were the bird like the penguins, fish like the seal and the animals like a walrus are the found there. Where in the polar region, the northern hemisphere, animal like reindeer, that means people living on the region to have, that means southern part of the earth, bird like penguin, fish like seal and animals like walrus are the found. And the polar region, the northern hemisphere, animals like reindeer, polar bear, arctic foxes etc. found. That means in the polar region, animals like the reindeer, polar bears are the found in this region. People living in this region to have adapted the natural condition prevailing in that region. Our adaptations to the climatic condition is possible only up to the certain limits. That's why organisms prefer certain habits during extreme cold climate condition, when the food supply becomes scarce and number of the birds and animals migrate temporarily. Trees bear fruits in the particular season, therefore agriculture season also dependent on the local climatic condition. That means the animal life, human life, or the plant lives which is dependent on the climatic condition of that region. In polar area where snow lines shift north or south according to the season. That means in the polar region there where the snow lines shift north or south according to the season, and this is affecting migration of the bird or animal, and this is the responsible for the migration of the birds and animals. Thank you.